Web 1.0 was created at the beginning of the web's existence. It was an information superhighway of papers linked together by hyperlinks. It was around 2004 that the Web 2.0 phenomenon began to develop, allowing more people to participate on the web platforms such as Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. This is an exciting time to be alive as we are on the cusp of the third wave of the internet. Decentralized yet secure internet where people may trade money and information without the need for a bank or tech firm. Welcome to Altcoin Bull, the most popular crypto educational channel on YouTube. This video we have for you today is a comprehensive introduction to the crazy world of Web 3.0. From a high level, we'll take a look at the ecosystem. A lot of people are excited about Web 3. But not everyone is convinced. While we admire the idea of reclaiming control of the internet, many of these companies are under the control of vulture capitalists and Silicon Valley elites. However, this isn't always the case, and there are frauds and unscrupulous things to watch out for in the business, as well as clever individuals arguing that the Web 3 doesn't have a computational power, bandwidth, or storage capacity to expand on a realistic basis. To argue that crypto has grown faster than the internet in the 90s is a bogus claim, because crypto is built on top of the internet, not the other way around. TikTok follows the same logic. To be sure, cryptocurrency will never achieve internet-level upheaval, but it does not exclude it from being an important development. This is how we see it. It's like 1992, and we're just getting started. Web 3 is going to expand for another 10 years and radically transform the way the world works. An even worse outcome would be the collapse of Web 3 as a result of the collapse of the Bitcoin bubble. To put things in perspective, when the dot-com bubble burst, Amazon's stock dropped 90%, making it one of the few corporations to make it through. If Ethereum's value falls by 90%, what will happen to the hashtag Web3? But then there's the question of whether we even need cryptocurrency to create decentralized apps. Peer-to-peer file sharing, like Napster's in the 1990s, or BitTorrent, which has 100 million monthly active users, are examples of decentralized technology. However, Bitcoin is important because you need some sort of payment to develop a creative economy, and banks are not an acceptable answer. What is a decentralized app or a dApp on the blockchain, and how does it work? As an example, let's look at the Ethereum blockchain. Ethereum is similar to a massive computer network in which all members agree on the same state of the data throughout the whole network. On the Ethereum network, Ether is now the money that is used to generate transactions that modify the status of data. When you broadcast a transaction, you also give away a tiny amount of Ether, which gives another machine in the network an incentive to complete it. This is also known as a gas charge, and it works in the same way as paying AWS or AWS for cloud computing services. You spend more petrol if you want things done faster. When developing a web application, you typically create some backend code and then publish it to a centralized server such as AWS. Your backend code for a decentralized program on the blockchain is included in a smart contract. A decentralized app must also have a front end, which may be constructed in the same way as a regular website, with the exception that user authentication is handled differently. So with a decentralized app, how does user identity work? The end user, unlike in Web 2, controls all of their data. You, the developer, are not required to gather a username and password. The end user has a public wallet address for receiving payments and a private key for signing transactions to transmit money to others. A user's wallet can be linked to a browser plug-in such as MetaMask. Your friend's app, such as a React app, may then interface with that user's wallet to perform an exciting action in the UI, such as a purchase or NFT. But what exactly is NFT? So what exactly is a token? A token is nothing more than a digital asset. Ethereum's currency is called Ether. It's a digital asset that can be traded with others. But the best part is that developers may design their tokens in the form of smart contracts. It's merely a number in a smart contract that corresponds to a wallet address. Indeed, if I wanted to establish my cryptocurrency, I could do it by implementing a smart contract that gives me an initial balance of 1 quadrillion tokens, which I can then sell to you for $1 each, and you can sell it to your friends for $2, and so on, until we're all very rich. We've constructed a fungible token in this example, which implies that one token has the same value as another of the same size. Although one currency is always worth the same as another, tokens can represent assets that are not identical. Baseball cards, real estate, digital network, and other items such are examples. Non-fungible tokens include things like this. Because each token is unique and represents a particular object, its real market value may alter when you try to exchange it for another type of cash. You've heard of the NFT craze, with entire marketplaces like OpenSea dedicated to selling digital artwork as non-fungible tokens, which is a terrific example of a well-designed Web3 app. Let's discuss technology now. How does a Web3 application's front end look? It's not much different than a regular web app, for most of the part. When it comes to user authentication, you'll almost certainly utilize a UI library with your other front-end tools. This is because the end user uses a plug-in like MetaMask to make their public wallet data available to a decentralized app. Now the question is, how can we link to MetaMask as developers? MetaMask produces a global object on the browser window that we can use to obtain data about the wallet. So it's rather simple. Now finding out what to do with this data is a bit of a challenge. But thankfully, there are libraries to help us out. Web3.js and Ethers.js are the two most popular solutions since they give us a JavaScript-based API that makes interacting with the end user and smart contracts on the blockchain easier. Here's an illustration of how the procedure may work. The window Ethereum object is used to build a provider, which is then used to generate a signer. You may think of it like this. We connect to a smart contract and modify its state, which requires the user's agreement and is dependent on the logic of the smart contract itself. That's all it takes to get a transaction started on the front end. The front end is straightforward. But how does a Web3 application's backend look? As an old-school web developer, it's probably rather different from what you're accustomed to. You'll be developing smart contracts instead of using a server and database like PHP and MySQL. There are frameworks available that are meant to make programming easier. Hardhat and Truffle are two of the most popular possibilities. When you add them to your project, they'll provide you with a spot to build a smart contract in the Solidity programming language. It's essentially an object-oriented language designed specifically for writing contracts on the blockchain. While this may sound intimidating, there's a project called OpenZeppelin that provides templates for writing smart contracts, making it extremely simple to implement reliable code right away. A development tool chain will also offer you a script for deploying your smart contracts on the blockchain. It's a node script that signs a contract using your credentials and sends it back to a blockchain address. You might now be asking how I'm going to test this code before deploying it, because I'm not sure whether this thing works at all. Another thing Hardhat and Truffle can assist you with is that they can set up a testing network on localhost and then produce several false crypto wallet addresses for you to test with. Instead of functioning on the actual Ethereum network, you may link MetaMask to your testing network in the browser. Furthermore, if you're working on a serious project, you should think about developing automated tests for it. And there's a library called Waffle that can assist you with that. That's how a simple decentralized program appears. But you might be wondering if you should keep all of your data on the blockchain. No, that's not the case. Keeping everything on the blockchain is inefficient and unnecessary, which is where off-chain storage comes in. Data may be too huge to put on a blockchain in some situations, or it may need to be edited or removed, which is not feasible in a blockchain because all data is read-only. The Interplanetary File System, or IPFS, is the most prevalent option. It's a decentralized means to distribute files, similar to BitTorrent, and there are databases built on top of IPFS, such as OrbitDB and ThreadDB, which are akin to peer-to-peer versions of MongoDB. If you've made it this far through the video, you're probably thinking to yourself, Web3 seems great, but how can I get started? The Remix IDE is the easiest way to get started with smart contracts. It's a browser-based tool that takes care of all the compilation of other details for you, so you don't have to worry about JavaScript. Once again, this is the Altcoin Bull channel, bringing you the best and most updated news and trends in the crypto world. If you like the video, don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell. Thank you and see you in the next one.